What's going on, y'all? J Studio coming at you with another video, coming at you with something a little bit different. I've had a lot of people, a lot of close friends at least, ask me how I got my gaming set up and how I got everything going the way I got it going. It wasn't cheap whatsoever, but I figure anybody watching this video is going to want to start a YouTube channel at some point, or a gaming channel, and I figured why not throw this out in the water and see if hopefully this helps somebody start a YouTube channel, a gaming YouTube channel. The way I'm gonna have this set up is I'm gonna have two different categories. I'm gonna have a category for things that aren't necessarily considered necessary for a YouTube channel, for a gaming YouTube channel specifically, and then I'm gonna have something set up specifically that I feel like is necessary for a good YouTube channel. If you do like this style of content, you want to see me go kind of in depth about some of the stuff I have, please leave a like and comment. I definitely will do that. This video isn't really going to go too much in depth about everything that I have, but it's going to more go over everything that I have as far as the cost, like prices and things you can do to avoid paying the cost like I did for certain things. Let's get into it. This isn't really scripted. I didn't really write too much into this, so if I seem like I'm kind of stumbling, that's why I didn't really write anything. First of all, let me just introduce myself. My name is J Studio Gaming. I do play video games Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm trying to stick to a strict schedule, but sometimes I do upload videos here and there randomly. Starting off my little list here that I got made up, one of the first things that I deem not necessary. Well, let me start with necessary first, so you can kind of know what is necessary. So necessary, obviously, I would consider a PC or like a gaming system. Obviously, you can use like a computer, like any type of like really powerful laptop, or you can use your PS4 if you use a PS4 and do video recording that way. I personally started off doing it with my PS4, but wanted to do a little bit more outside of the PlayStation, so I actually got me a PC. Please don't beat me up, but I did buy a pre-built, and it was about $1,500. Now you can buy like a cheaper one. They got like cheaper. It depends. So with the PC, it's kind of hard because it's a little subjective as far as the cost is concerned, because you could pay a lot for a really expensive PC. It just all depends on what games you do. I paid about $1,500 for mine. It was a pre-built. Alright guys, so a little side note as I was editing this video, probably the cheapest, best route to go when it comes to the PC aspect of everything is to build your own PC. I know there's a lot of ways to do it, and I'm not really gonna go too much in details in regards to building a PC, because I would probably say I'm one of the worst. That's why I bought a pre-built one, because I didn't know what I was doing. But if you want to go cheap, I would recommend looking up some really good PC builds and just kind of following step by step. That would probably be the best bang for your buck to get a really good quality PC without paying the price, and you can just upgrade the parts as you go. I'll post a screenshot of the PC that I got specifically at Micro Center, but they had some really good PCs, and you really don't need something too powerful for streaming. Next, talking about streaming, I'm actually gonna go into what I use for streaming software, and that's OBS Streamlabs. OBS is amazing. Now I will say that it takes some getting used to as far as setting it up. It's not necessarily easy to set it up. Like, you have to really know what you're doing. I took a lot of inspiration from YouTube videos. I'll leave links in the description for everything I talk about, for prices, things like that. So if you want to get anything that I got, you can definitely check out the description and you'll see the links. But yeah, OBS is really good. It's really user friendly once you know what you're doing. You got your scenes, your sources. You just got to add your sources. And I won't go too much in depth with OBS. Now, if you do want to see a more in-depth tour, I'll leave a link in the description for the video I used to kind of go into a little bit more depth on how to set up OBS, just in case you already have it. Sticking with the necessary category, a monitor or like some type of TV would have to be something that you would use for your gaming. I recommend personally getting a monitor with, if you're doing it with a monitor, which I recommend you do it over a TV, with 144 hertz at least, just to get the best frame rate possible. These monitors can run up to 144 frames per second. Again, I am not the best when it comes to computers, PCs, things like that. So please, if you're looking at this video, please don't judge me by that. I'm just going off of what I've seen on the internet and what I was told when I bought this monitor. Now, the monitors I have is a ViewSonic. I spent about $216 on it, about $216, and that's pretty much like the first real cost, if you're not really taking in consideration of the PC and system, because that's going to be a really big variable. You can get like a cheaper monitor capable of running 144 frames per second on like Amazon or eBay. Again, I got this at Micro Center. I spent a little bit more, but I didn't really want to wait for it to get sent to me in the mail. Next thing I really feel like you need for to have a decent YouTube channel, or for like not decent YouTube channel, but for like really good game captures, is an Elgato HD60. You can get any type of capture card, but I highly recommend an Elgato HD60 capture card, or just HD, or just an HD60. That's what I have. The prices vary on the capture card. You can go cheap. I've seen some for about $100. I personally spent a little bit more for this. I would not skim out on this, because a lot of the cheaper capture cards are going to run into issues with the Elgato. Prices range anywhere between, I'm seeing some for $150, $190, $200. Again, this is something I deem necessary for a really good gaming channel. When you get it, it's really easy to set up. You download a few softwares and just really get going. Again, I'll leave links in the description, kind of going over exactly what to do to set that up and make sure you have that set up, just in case you already have an HD60. The next thing I would recommend you get, that I would consider necessary, is a gaming desk. Gaming desks are one of the fundamentals in being able to play comfortably, but this is one of those ones where the price varies so dramatically that, like, you can go from an super expensive desk to something just super cheap. Like, you can get like a really cheap basic one. You can go to like Goodwill really and get one for $50, $60. I personally spent $600, or I'm tripping. I spent about $350 on my gaming desk. My gaming desk is called the Daedalus. I might be pronouncing this wrong. Daedalus Gaming. Daedalus Gaming Desk. Again, I got this at Micro Center. I spent about $150 or $350. My prices keep jumping around. $350. I spent about $350 on this gaming desk. But again, if you really wanted to, you can get some really cheap gaming desks. Just looking online, you can see some desks from like some actual gaming desks as low as $100. I'm gonna link a log called the Video Game Blog, where they actually run through the top best cheap gaming desks for under $200. So if you really want to just ball on a budget, you can get a gaming desk for a really cheap price. Again, I think I spent more money because I didn't feel like waiting for a lot of the stuff. I wanted to kind of get the game going and wanted to get everything kind of moving. But again, that was just me. If you wanted to kind of go on the cheaper end, I'll probably put this at about $75, $70 for a cheap one. But it can even go lower than that depending on where you're at. The next thing I would consider necessary for your gaming channel is speakers. Me personally, I feel like the sound is everything. And with good speakers, I feel like you will get kind of the most immersive. Headphones too, but if you really didn't need it or didn't want headphones, you can kind of go without headphones and just play with your speakers. Again, that affects the quality. I do feel like you should at least, it's either one or the other. If you don't have speakers, you should have headphones. If you don't have headphones, you should have speakers. I got my headphone, or my speakers and my headphone. My speakers though, we're talking about, I got those at Micro Center as well. I think I spent about $35 on those. So I think that's probably the last thing I would consider necessary for your YouTube channel. Now we're going to switch over to what I feel like is not technically considered necessary, but you might want to have for the quality of your videos. The first thing I would say is a green screen. There's a lot of YouTubers that do YouTube that don't have a green screen at all, and that's totally fine. You can do YouTube without a green screen. Like, it's not necessary at all. It's more of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know what the word I want to say. It's more like an aesthetic type of deal. Like, I don't know. For me, it just looks better. Now with green screen, one thing you have to really consider and you have to know is when setting it up, you have to have the right lighting, because if you don't have the right lighting, your green screen, there's no point in really having it. When I first started doing this YouTube and I first got my green screen, I didn't have the right lighting, so every time I tried to record, I kept fighting the computer because I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I kept seeing shadows in the back. Even now, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than what it was when I first started. Going into a green screen, kind of going hand in hand with that, you can get a decent green screen for about $100. Now, I will say they do sell cheaper ones where you can get the little stand and have the one that's hanging down, and that's actually what I had. I think I spent about $30 for the one that hung with the little pole. But again, if you want like a higher quality, I would just bring the extra little $50-$60 and just get a green screen that I have. This isn't a bad green screen at all. It does what it needs to do, and it's easily moved. I don't want to say mobile because mobile makes it sound like it has wheels, but I can move it around easy. The next thing I would say is a camera. It's not necessary, but it's something that I feel like a lot of YouTubers are gonna want to have, because you're gonna want to have your face in the limelight. I personally have sprung for the Brio Logitech. This 4K camera is not cheap at all. I spent about $250 on this camera. I bought it off of eBay. The camera I had before this was called the Aurora or something like that. It was about $70, and I actually got a lot of good use out of that. I'll show in these clips, like you can kind of see the difference between when I had the old camera versus the Logitech. This Logitech is gangster, but it's not cheap at all. If you wanted to just get like a nice camera, you have one or two options. You can either buy a camera, like a cheap webcam, or I would probably say the cheapest nice webcam. The cheapest nice webcam I would probably say is about $100. That being the Logitech C920 Pro. That's not a bad camera at all. I've seen a lot of videos with it, and I think it's a really good quality camera for the price. I just wanted to get the best I can get, so that's why I sprung for the Logitech. Now, you can get a cheaper camera, like $60, but like the quality of the camera is so, when you start dipping in those price ranges, is so poor that, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like it's not even worth having. Like, you should just either use your phone or just get a more expensive camera. Now, going into that, with the phone, if you didn't necessarily want to use a camera and you just wanted to just not, like, because everybody has a cell phone, well, most people do, you can use your phone. The issue I ran into with using my phone was getting the video of me being recorded from my phone to the computer, because a lot of times the file was too big. One of the things I would recommend doing is setting up something called a OneDrive. There's an app, it's through Windows, I believe, and you can get it on your iPhone, Android, Google phone, and basically sharing or uploading the video to your OneDrive, and then downloading the video to computer from OneDrive, because you can't send it to yourself via email. And I was having issues connecting my phone directly up to my computer. So I mean, you could try to do it that way. Maybe you have it differently. Maybe you could try to email yourself, but the best way I found was to just upload it to OneDrive, and then from OneDrive just download it to the computer and then use that and then put that onto the video, and you just have to sync the audio to the video, to like your face. Oh my gosh. I forgot about this part. The next thing I would probably say is necessary is studio lights. Now with studio lights, I went to when I first started YouTube, I started my I'm saying that like I've been doing it for a long time. When I first started the channel to do gaming on like seriously, I got my little lights from Walmart, like on some really cheap stuff, like $6-7 for both lights, and that was cool and everything. But the issue I ran into was shadows. Shadows were a pain because I have a green screen. Now, if you don't have a green screen, and this kind of ties back into what I was saying before, if you don't have a green screen, lights, as long as you have lights focused on your face and you kind of have it set up where you can see yourself and your facial expressions, you should be okay, especially if you have a decent enough camera. I have a green screen, so trying to get my lights working with my face and the green screen and everything kind of being synced, I felt like I needed to get like a decent camera, or not a camera, a light. So what I did was I actually sprung for these studio lights. I actually ordered them off of eBay. I'll leave a link in the description for that as well. I spent about $45 for them. It is totally worth it. They are awesome. These lights provide the best kind of overall exposure for me, and it helps my green screen and really alleviates the problem of my shadows. The next thing I would recommend getting that isn't totally necessary, but I feel like would be worth it, is a microphone. Again, there are gamers out there that do YouTube that don't actually, there's no commentary, it's just the game, which that's cool. That's you know, if you're doing YouTube though, for me, like the way I'm doing it, I personally recommend, I like commentary when I watch people play the game. Like that's just me. I like to watch people talk and their reactions and things like that. If the best cheap mic that you can get on the market, in my opinion, is the Blue Snowball. I spent about $50-ish, about $50, $55 on my Blue Snowball, and then I got a pop filter. I think I spent about $15 on my pop filter. So altogether, I was looking at about $65 for my mic, and like I love it. Like the quality of the mic compared to when I used to listen to myself without a mic or without like using my phone audio, it's just like night and day. If you do get the mic, I would recommend getting the little arm as well. This arm is what I use to get closest to my mouth. I think I spent about $15 on this. So like all together, to get the microphone arm, the microphone, and the pop filter, you'd be looking about $80. But it's totally worth it. If you really want to get the best sound and the best quality, I would highly recommend it. The next thing, and probably the last thing I would recommend for a gaming YouTube channel, is editing software. Now this isn't technically necessary, especially if you're one of those YouTubers that you just record everything, you just kind of upload it. For me, I like to cut out a lot of the BS, and I'm not perfect, so I make a lot of mistakes. I use DaVinci Resolve 16. DaVinci Resolve is editing software that you can use to edit your videos. It's super easy, super intuitive. You can do everything that you can do on a lot of the softwares that you have to pay for. I haven't spent a dime on Resolve, but I'm able to use it and utilize it to do a lot of edits and do a lot of cool little tricks that I felt like you had to pay for with having an editing software. Again, this is something that I felt like was on a top 10 list, like how I found it, but I just want to give this software a lot of praise because it really is useful. You can do everything, and hasn't been anything where I felt like, damn, like I need to spring a little bit more money so I can do this or that. Like, I'm not the best when it comes to editing, but I do want to say, like, I really feel like the the quality of Resolve should be something you're paying for, but you get it for free. So I really think that's awesome. So altogether, the things that I don't really consider necessary is green screen, a camera, studio lights, microphone, editing software, headphones. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention headphones. Headphones are another thing that I think I kind of went over when I talked about the speakers. Headphones I wouldn't necessarily consider necessary, but I would consider it's kind of a give or take. You either have the speakers or you have the headphones. If you don't have speakers, I would recommend having headphones. I bought my headphones from Micro Center for about $70. Really good overall sound, but you can get some very, very, very cheap headphones for $15 on Amazon or eBay. I personally would recommend you spend a little bit more, but for this video, if you really want to ball on a budget, I'll leave a link for some cheaper headphones in the description. And that's it, guys. If you do like this video and you like my setup, you want me to go more into detail about some of the stuff that I have, please leave a like, a comment, and a subscribe. I do upload video game videos, a lot of horror games, Among Us, and a lot of throwback games as well on Thursdays with Nostalgia Blast. If you do like this type of content, hit that like button, subscribe, comment, and with that being said, see you guys in the next video. Peace.